I'm Rupinder, and I'll be taking the. I'll be guiding you through this particular webinar right now. All right. So, as you can see, the topic for today is, or what we're going to discuss about is basically how you proceed for IIT preparation from here. And so we'll be talking about a lot of points. We'll be talking about a lot of points that people have misconceptions about, that they have their own thoughts or they've heard from someone, and we'll be clearing that, right? So why we can clear that is basically because we ourselves, both me and Prabjot is the one who's organizing on the other side. So both me and Prabjot, we are ourselves passed out. We have passed out from IIT Bombay. We've got a decent, good, in fact, experience of teaching. Right now, I'll share more about myself here. All right, since I'll be guiding you through this particular webinar. So I started my teaching career, you could say, in my first year of IIT. Right, so I passed out from IIT Bombay. After my first year, there were vacations, and I just wanted to earn some extra bucks, and so I started my teaching from there. I joined a quite reputed coaching class at that time in Bombay, in Mumbai, right? And when I was over there, I had certain experiences which at that time I did not really look at, because I was just in the mode of, okay, let me just work over here for two months and I'll move ahead from here, right? So so one of the experiences that I had over there was a student. While I was taking a doubt session, he walked up to me and he said, "Sir, आप IIT Bombay में हो तो आपके room में तो AC होता होगा." And I smiled at him and I'm like, "Why do you think that, right? तुमको ये आया कहाँ से?" ठीक है? और फिर उसने एक और सवाल you normally get when sort of IIT. So I was in my first year. There was still 3-4 years before I sat for random, and this is the year 2004. All right. So so he was shocked. He's like, I thought everybody after IIT gets a package of 50 lakhs, right? So there are these misrepresentations out there in the media by people. Some things are hyped up, right? So it's not really the true story that is presented across. Now, but at that time, I did not really pay attention to it, and I was like, ठीक है, maybe this guy has different ideas about IIT. उसको पता नहीं है, समझ नहीं है IIT क्या है, और वो ऐसे ही बस peer pressure या parental pressure की वजह से यहाँ पर आ गया है, right? So after a couple of years, I again joined a coaching class. This was in Borivali in Mumbai, actually. And over there, I got to work with a lot of foundation students, 8th, 9th, and 10th level students. And I got to interact with a lot of parents. And this was the time where I was astounded that these questions are not only in the mind of students, but also in the mind of parents, right? Parents आकर उनको एक डर लगा रहता है, अरे मेरा बच्चा आगे IIT कर पाएगा कि नहीं, ठीक है, उसने टेस्ट में अच्छा नहीं किया इस बार, so what is his chances, how can he improve? All right, so there was a lot of concern from parents, and I also saw a lot of parents who would push their kids into the science stream despite seeing that they were not as good, despite seeing that they were not as good. So I gave them a feedback that probably your kid will do better in a different stream and not science. He's maybe you need to explore his talents, right, more, and take it as just an exploration period right now for him, taking the JEE Foundation course. So that is where I really got connected with the reality that people were out of reality or out of touch with what actually IIT is. And there was an unnecessary pressure that was being put on parents and on the teachers from the society, from their peers at large, right? So that is where my passion for teaching started, and I felt I could, being from the IIT background, being a part of that particular so-called, the elite college of India, right? I could probably help people understand what is there and what is not there. And I don't know if you're finding me a little nervous and excited both, because I'm excited because I'm getting to share from there to here today. I'm getting to share my experiences and help people understand what could be the right path for them and what they may want to re-evaluate. All right. So nervous because a lot of people out there, and yeah, so giving a talk like this is not always that I've done. So yeah, so that's my little background. So from here we will move ahead to the point that I was sharing with you, right? That you have a lot of questions today. All right, that's why you're a part of this webinar. You have questions like what? So somebody is thinking, you know what, I'm not sure if I can do this. There is too much competition, and this is what a lot of parents come and talk to me कि sir, IIT के लिए तो बहुत कम सीट होती हैं, हमारा बच्चा उसमें जा पाएगा या नहीं जा पाएगा, हमें नहीं पता, हम रिस्क ले या नहीं ले, उसको 2 साल पढ़ाने, उसको 2 साल पढ़ना होगा आगे, राइट? कुछ पता नहीं है कि 2 साल के बाद क्या होगा या नहीं होगा. So there's a lot of competition, all right? And we'll address this particular question going forward in this webinar, right? And I love this one कि you know, this is self-created pressure कि science लेकर अगर IIT की तैयारी नहीं करी तो फिर क्या फायदा? You know, it is actually, I find it very funny because I feel that everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses. तो जरूरी नहीं है कि आपने अगर साइंस लिया है तो आपको IIT की ही तैयारी करनी है. You have to be a part of the larger herd that is out there, and which, you know, a lot of coaching centers have started catering to, right? So IIT की preparation नहीं करी तो क्या फायदा, right? This is very interesting. Why should I even prepare for IIT JEE exam? So some people have this कि they're on the other side of the fence कि यार ठीक है, मतलब IIT एक बहुत elite college है, लेकिन मैं क्यों जाऊँ वहाँ पर, right? मेरे को what is in it for me, that I have to, you know, what is in it for me as the end result, and what do I have to do in the next 2 years, right? And I want to do this, but I don't know where to start from. So some people are in this zone where they feel कि you know, मैं करना चाहता हूँ but मेरे को कोई right guidance नहीं मिल रही है. I don't know which coaching class is good or bad. I don't know which faculty is good or bad. I don't know who can guide me in the right way, right? So let me tell you that we will try to address these questions to our best possible ability today over here in this webinar. All right. When you, after the webinar, we'll also have a question answer session. You can, if your questions are not answered during the course of this webinar, you can, you know, send them to Prabjot on chat, and after we can take those questions during the question answer session, right? And if there is a time limit, then we can also connect offline, and we can speak to you personally to address those questions. All right. So understanding JEE, right? So this is the key thing over here that we want to get to. तो सबसे पहली चीज की कौन-कौन से engineering entrances हैं हमारे पास जो कि हम देना चाहते हैं. Now these are just 5 of them. There are other private entrance exams as well. For example, for VIT, Vellore Institute of Technology, for SRM in Chennai, right? So there are other colleges as well that conduct their own entrances. But from the perspective of what we do at Adventure IIT, we like to focus on these 5 exams, right? So JEE Advanced, which caters to admission to IITs. There are 23 IITs over there. JEE Mains caters to the admission to NITs, National Institute of Technologies, or IIITs and other regional engineering colleges. BITSAT is your basically BITS Pilani, BITS Goa. These are the colleges that BITSAT caters to, and all BITS campuses are also private campuses, right? ICER is basically the research institutes. There are 7 of them in India, but these are purely for pure science courses. Now, the interesting thing is that their pattern of paper and what they expect out of the aspirant is same as JEE Mains or BITSAT, right? So the question paper pattern is similar. Now, and then we have MHCET. MHCET basically caters to engineering colleges within Maharashtra. Now there are more, you could say, you know, small points over here, like some quota of engineering colleges in Maharashtra is filled through JEE Mains, right? But that's a very small quota. Some quota in ICERs is also filled through JEE Mains and JEE Advanced. All right. So these are different, you could say these are different points that we can go in, that you can go into later on. All right. So these are the various exams that we focus on when students want to prepare for engineering. Now let's understand what is the, you could say, level of these exams. How do we really look at the level of these exams, and how do we help students or guide students for these exams? So the first level over here at the bottom is your 12th boards exam and MHCET, right? So more or less, whatever you study in board for boards is there also that comes in MHCET, the Maharashtra State Central Entrance Test, right? Engineering test. So common engineering test, sorry, right? So, so the level over here is pretty much similar. And if we go a notch above, we get JEE Mains, BITSAT and ICER. All right. So there is a certain distinction or differentiation between why I'm saying this. We'll go to that in the next slide. Why we are saying that the level is different. And then even 2 notches above, we have JEE Advanced, right? So if you look at the entire uh, level, then JEE Advanced is actually way above your board's level. Okay. So what happens is that a lot of coaching classes, they admit you for JEE Advanced batches. All right. And a student who is not able to cope up with that, he doesn't have any option to spill over to a lower level where he can actually fulfill his, his own strengths and work with his own strengths and weaknesses. All right. So that is a very major problem that we have seen in our career with a lot of classes, right? So let's go to the next slide here and understand the similarities and differences between these exams, right? And you'll also understand why I keep 12th boards at the lowest level and JEE Advanced at the topmost level, right? So if you look at the JEE Advanced paper, the type of questions that you have is a lot, right? So, and every year they basically come up with something. So in Match the Column itself, you have 2 different types of questions. You can have 2 column matching or you can have 3 column matching, right? You have a numerical answer type question. You have comprehension type question, right? You have negative marking in some questions. You don't have negative marking in some question. The paper pattern of JEE Advanced is essentially not fixed. And that is why if you look at the number of questions in each exam, all right, if you look at the number of questions in each exam, it's fixed for the other exams, but for JEE Advanced, it varies. So there is no fixed pattern to the paper. Last year, there were 54 questions in a paper, right, of JEE Advanced. Some years, there are 60 questions in the paper. All right. If you look at JEE Mains, there are 75 questions. It's MCQ based. So the common theme here is MCQ. All right, that there are multiple choice questions for most of the others, right? And the numerical, and there are also numerical answer questions that were introduced from this year onwards in JEE Mains. All right. The number of questions, 75. If you look at BITSAT, you have 150 questions, which you have to solve in 3 hours. MHCET, 200 questions that you have to solve in 3 hours. Now, if you compare this data, then what can you understand? That you cannot have the same level of questions where you have 60 questions in a paper to solve in 3 hours and 200 questions to solve in 3 hours. So it is a given that the CET questions will of course be a lower level than your JEE Mains or JEE Advanced or a BITSAT paper, right? So that is why I've clubbed CET with almost the board's level, right? These are questions that come direct formula based almost entirely, or very less level of application of concepts that it requires, right? The most application of concept is required in JEE Advanced. And also if you notice, in the time I've written for JEE Advanced 2 papers of 3 hours each. So JEE, when you want to get into an IIT, it is not just about how much of physics, chemistry or maths you know. It is also about your mental strength. That can you be focused for 8 hours at a stretch? So 9 to 12, the first paper happens, you get a 2-hour break, and then 2 to 5, the other paper happens. So for 8 hours, can you stay focused and bring out whatever you've learned? So it's like a test match basically, right? All the others are like 20-20 matches, or you could say one-day international. So I like to give a lot of examples from sports. So I relate to that a lot. So JEE Advanced is like a test match. It will not only test how much, whether you can bat or not. It will test your technique. It will test your perseverance. It will test your determination. All right. So, and that is why JEE Advanced is at the top. It requires you to know application of the concepts in and out. For JEE Mains, some questions are application based, where you may have to use 2-3 concepts at the same time. Quite a lot of questions are also direct formula based, right? With BITSAT, mostly formula based, some theoretical questions. All right. With ICER, again, application based. Okay, so this is why we grade these. I've graded, or we have graded these exams in this particular way. Okay, now where does board stand with respect to all of this? So I'll tell you over here that boards does not require application of concepts, maybe in 2 or 3 questions that we have seen each year. Other than that, the entire paper does not require you to have application. It just requires you to know a lot of things and use formulas, right? So so if you look at what boards requires and what these exams require application, whereas boards is a lot theoretical in nature. So if there's a 70 marks physics paper in 12th standard or a chemistry paper in 12th standard, then out of those 70 marks, 45 marks are mostly theory, and the remaining are numericals, which is basically where you have to apply formulas and stuff. So the approach in preparation becomes entirely different, right? And that is why a lot of people who can score very well in boards do not necessarily end up doing well in these examinations. All right, so these are the similarities and differences between these exams. Now, which exams should you give? All right, ideally you should prepare for all of these exams, but I'll point out a particular thing over here, that we saw that JEE Advanced is at the top and boards is at the bottom, and in between you have JEE Mains and BITSAT and ICER, right? So if you prepare for JEE Mains, or I would rather say that if a person is really seriously preparing for 12th boards, they can give a very good JEE Mains exam. They have to practice papers to get used to the format, but other than that, their skill set preparation would be enough. All right. So if you're preparing for JEE Mains, your boards gets done automatically, right? If you're preparing for JEE Advanced, your boards automatically gets done, as well as JEE Mains and all the other exams, right? So that is why a lot of people focus on preparing for JEE Advanced, because then all the other exams that you have beneath it, all right, get covered automatically. Okay. So which exam should you give? These are the 5 exams that I've listed. The other exams, like I said, there are the private exam for Vellore Institute of Technology, VIT, or SRM in Chennai. And so that is your prerogative if you want to give those exams or not. All right. Now let's come to the next part over here, that why do you want to get into IIT in the first place? Because let me tell you that the 2 years that a kid spends in preparing for IIT is very rigorous. All right. It is truly an adventure, and that is why the name over here we have Adventure IIT, because it's truly an adventure for a kid. Not only the skill set, the learnings of PCM, it is truly an adventure because it will take them through a lot of emotional and mental ups and downs. All right, and that is what life is about, right? So why IIT? So when I ask this question to a lot of students, I get some very you could say typical answers over here. For example, you get a good job after getting into IIT, right? Which is true. The packages that you get after passing out from IIT are actually way better than what you get from other private colleges, right? Social status, that I have cleared IIT and I'm going to an IIT, and parents like to brag about this actually. So when I passed out from IIT, I'm from a very small town in UP called Modinagar, and I was one of the very few students, 4 or 5 students in my school who cleared IIT that year. And so there was this whole thing about okay, inke bete ne IIT clear kar liya, like the Sharma ji ka beta kind of a thing. But so there's a lot of social status that is attached to it, right? Getting into IIT as well as after IIT, because the moment somebody says that I'm from IIT, I've passed out from IIT, there's a different kind of an approach that we see from people. And being from IIT, I can definitely say that yes, people start looking at you in a different way, right? Best teachers, that some students tell me that, sir, I want to go into IIT because I can learn engineering from the best teachers out there. And yes, the professors in IIT are wonderful, right? Of course, they are not so good at times, but most of the professors in all the IITs are really wonderful. And then they tell me that, so these are the best institutes that we can, do engineering from. And I would say this is a very generic answer, that these are the best institutes. That is why we want to do this. And I feel that, yes, you get all of these things from IIT. IITs are the best institutes. They have some of the best faculties, some of the best professors who can teach you in engineering. it does take you notch up in your social status, and it gives you a better package and a better lifestyle, can give you a better lifestyle than other peers who pass out from other colleges, right? But I would say that from my experience, from being from an IIT, I would say that there is something additional to it that a lot of people miss out on, right? That they don't understand what IITs can provide to you when you go over there. And I would like to sum this up as 4 E's over here. You know, when I was in IIT, so a lot of people think that जो लोग IIT में चले जाते हैं वो तो पूरा टाइम केवल पढ़ते रहते हैं, and this could not be more further from the truth. ये सच्चाई से बहुत दूर है ये बात कि वहां पर केवल लोग पढ़ते रहते हैं, ठीक है? We get so much time, we got so much time to ourselves in IIT, right? That we could explore a lot of things. We were exposed to a lot of things that, you know, does not happen in other engineering colleges, right? There are some of the best robotic teams in India that are from IITs, right? There are from other colleges as well, but the kind of exposure you can get and to learn in IIT is very amazing. All right, it expands your horizons about what is there. So the kind of companies that come and recruit in IIT do not go and recruit in other private colleges. For example, banks come and recruit from IIT. Now, why is a financial company, why is a finance company coming and recruiting an engineer, right? And I'll tell you one, I'll point out a very interesting facet over here, why they come and recruit. They are not interested in how much finance we know. What they're interested in is our talent, and they know that we stood amongst the top 1% in the batch in the country. In the entire country, we were in the top 1%. So we have the talent and they can teach us, right? And so banks come and recruit from IIT giving insane packages. All right. At IIT, I was not really interested. I'll share my experience here. I was not really interested in chemistry as a subject for research at that time. My branch was MSc, integrated MSc chemistry. And I was not interested on the research side. And I developed an interest in finance in my third year. And you know what? I could do a lot of self-study on finance. I was allowed to do 2 finance courses from the School of Management inside IIT Bombay, which is one of the top colleges after IIMs. All right. It basically churns out packages on similar level as IIMs as well. Okay. So it is one of the best management schools in India. As an engineering student, as a science student in IIT, an undergraduate, I was sitting with MBA students and doing courses with them. All right. So this is the kind of opportunity you get. And when I hear people telling me from private colleges that, you know, we are just working on our projects and assignments from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening, it shows me that these colleges really are not about innovation. These colleges are really not about exposure. All right. With due respect to these colleges and the students who go to these colleges, but the kind of exposure and the experience that you can get and expand your horizons over there and explore different opportunities that you can get in IITs is something that you cannot get in other colleges. All right. So this is why IITs, and I'll sum it up like this. IITs are basically a springboard giving your career an initial boost. And I say initial boost because once you get into your career and what you do in your career really matters after 5 years when you get into your career. But initially it will give you a boost. Initially it will open up opportunities for you that other colleges can't help you with. This is for definite, I can say. All right. So this is why IITs. तो इसका मतलब क्या ये हुआ कि IIT में नहीं गए तो लाइफ बेकार हो गई? Right? And this is a question that, you know, a lot of students have at the back of their head, or a lot of parents have at the back of their mind. And I would say a very emphatic no to this. IIT में नहीं गए तो life बेकार नहीं हुई. IIT is one of the ways that you can excel in life, that can give you a platform to excel in life. But it is not the only way. All right. And I don't get it when people say that कि IIT ही करना चाहिए. All right. I am of a firm belief that IITs are a good way, all right, but not the only way. There are many other fields that are equally good too. And I, you know, because I have done a lot of finance during my college days. In fact, my first job was in consulting, right? Before I got into education full time. I can tell you that commerce as a field is brilliant. But if you want to get into commerce, aim for being a CA, because becoming a CA is actually much more tougher than getting into IITs. The kind of dynamism that is there in becoming a CA is like really amazing. When I got to know of it, I was really surprised. And I was like, how can people actually, you know, like people who clear this, they have to be really very good at what they do. All right. So just like IITs can provide a platform and act as a springboard, there are other fields as well that can help you do that. But for that, again, we boil down to one thing, that you have to aim for the best in that. If you're aiming not for the best, then that will not act as a springboard for you. All right. So IIT नहीं किया तो life बेकार है? बिल्कुल नहीं है. All right. You can, and let's say, you know, today, if you decide to pursue IIT as an option, if you decide to pursue IIT as an option over here, right, then we can be the right guides for you. And I very sincerely believe this, that we are the right guides that can help you if you choose to take this path of preparing for IITs. All right. Now let's set some expectations. Let's set some expectations before we, let's set some expectations to understand this path basically. So this is one of the very common questions that I get. Will board's syllabus get covered? And like I showed you in the previous slide, that board's level is actually at the lowest point, and you have JEE Mains and JEE Advanced and other exams above it, right? So the content for these exams is exactly the same as 11th and 12th standard. So does board syllabus get covered? Absolutely. You want to prepare for IIT, your board syllabus will get covered. But the difference is in the approach to give the exam. Like I said, boards is more theoretical, less application. These exams are more application. The theory part, to write a derivation, to understand ki, okay, how does a particular equation, how does a particular experiment work, or that setup works, you can write and practice that. But application requires more time. Learning how to use a concept in various different ways requires more time. All right. So board syllabus will definitely gets covered. Syllabus is the same. The difference is the level of competitive exams. All right. And that is higher because it involves more application. All right. Now, is there a correlation between 10th result and JEE performance? So this is another question we get a lot, that, you know what, my son or my daughter has scored 90% plus in 10th. So they should be able to perform well in the JEE. All right. So correlation between 10th result and JEE performance. And I would say there is no correlation between 10th and JEE performance. And I'll tell you why we why we believe this is because, number one, what I've written on the screen, that very less application part done till 10th. And there is a huge gap between 10th and 11th syllabus. All right. The level of science that students study till 10th and the application that they study till 10th is mostly formula based. It does not require them to think a lot. All right. It does not require them to think a lot. But when you come to 11th standard, and you know what, it's not just about JEE preparation, it is also about boards level. When you come to 11th and 12th, boards level is also very demanding compared to 10th. In 10th, you can start in December or January, spend 2-3 months studying, and you can clear the exam. All right. But in 12th, for boards itself, you will require at least 6 to 7 months of rigorous preparation if you want to score 90% plus in boards itself. All right. You need to have that consistency. So a lot of students who get 90% in 10th, we've seen, is mainly because they end up doing the work in the last 3 months. And I can tell you very confidently that if these students continue this way of working, that they prepare in the last moment, they will never be able to excel in JEE. All right. So one is the attitude that a person develops till 10th of clearing exams. Last moment में पढ़ाई कर ली, ठीक है, थोड़ा टाइम लगाकर पढ़ाई कर ली, और उसमें ही अच्छे नंबर आ गए, वो यहाँ पर काम नहीं करता है. So there's a huge attitude shift that is required when somebody wants to prepare for JEE, right? There's a consistency of efforts required. So what I tell actually students and parents is that आपने जो लास्ट के 2-3 महीने में 10th में पढ़ाई करी थी, आपको 2 साल वैसे ही पढ़ाई अब यहाँ पर करनी पड़ेगी. So you have to mentally prepare yourself for that first, right? So this is an expectation that a lot of that is not given by most of the people who teach for JEE, that it is very rigorous. It will take a lot, it demands a lot. All right. I'm an average student and I don't think I am cut out for IITs, right? So this is again a lot of people who are struggling with self-doubt at times, right? They may have scored 90% or not. They may have scored 80%. They think that, you know what, I'm not better than the other guy next to me. All right. So I don't think I can do it. In fact, you know, a lot of parents or students come and tell us, sir, मेरा एक दोस्त है जिसने IIT की तैयारी करी थी, वो तो बहुत smart था, लेकिन उसका IIT में नहीं हुआ. Right? Now, IIT में नहीं हुआ can have a lot of factors. You can't just say that he was smart and he did not get into IIT and that is your data point. It does not work like that. There are many factors that can basically come in the way of you not clearing IIT. And I'll give you my example. So when I gave my JEE exam in 2003, that was my first attempt. I took a drop after that. I used to think that I'm a very mentally strong person. But you know what? One day before the exam, I couldn't sleep the whole night. Next day, the exam starts at 8 o'clock and ends at 5 o'clock in the evening. And I had not slept even for 2 hours. Now I cannot come back and say, you know what, I couldn't sleep the one night before and that's why I couldn't clear the exam of IIT, right? So there could be various factors on that day itself when you're giving IIT. And I don't want to get into that particularly right now, but don't go by what other people are doing, what they have done or not done, whether they cleared it or not cleared. You have to look within yourself and you have to decide that where do you stand, right? And average is a function of practice and interest, and they both feed into each other. आप अगर किसी चीज में प्रैक्टिस करते हो, आप उसमें अच्छे हो जाते हो, तो आपको अप्रिसिएशन मिलता है, आपके नंबर अच्छे आते हैं. एंड क्योंकि आपके नंबर अच्छे आते हैं और आपको अप्रिसिएशन मिलता है, तो आपका इंटरेस्ट उसमें बढ़ जाता है. And because interest बढ़ गया, तो आप और practice करते हो. So this is a self-perpetuating cycle that starts. But let's say for a moment that you don't practice enough. All right. Then what will happen? You will not score well in the mock test that we will take over here. Right. And if you don't score well in the mock test, you will feel demotivated. Your interest will go down. And because of that, you will not practice further. And you will start getting into this zone where you will feel that, no, this is not for me. But actually the problem was that you did not start practicing enough for that particular paper, right? So average is a function of practice and interest. The more you practice, the better you become at it. And I really like to give example of Rahul Dravid over here vis-a-vis Sachin Tendulkar. So I ask people that, okay, you know what is the difference between these two great cricket players from India, right? And I'll tell you my version of it. What difference I see between them. Tendulkar was a prodigy. He was high IQ, right? He could play the straight drive very well. He could play the cover drive very well. But Rahul Dravid was a person who did not have that natural talent. He was a person who had to work day in and day out and practice his shots to get to the national level, right? So there are two kinds of people who can excel in anything. One, people who are very good at what they do, but they also work hard. That is the kind of person that Tendulkar is. He was very good at what he did. He was naturally gifted, but he also practiced. In a career spanning 20 to 23 years, he did not stop practicing. He never felt that, okay, you know what, I have played so many games, now I know everything, I don't need to practice, right? So you can have high IQ, but you also need hard work with that. And the other person who can get to the national level is somebody who practices, who does the hard work, who keeps on practicing till he starts getting better at it. And once he starts getting better at it and he sees the results, the interest automatically comes in, right? So what you need is decent IQ and lots of hard work and determination. All right. So make sure that when you are in this zone where you're preparing for IIT, you have to constantly ask yourself, did I give my 100%? And more often than not, when a student comes to us and says that, sir, मेरे को तो लग रहा है मेरे से नहीं होगा, right? We ask them this question, did you give your 100%? And more often than not, the answer is no. And for students who keep giving their 100%, they never come to us with these doubts. All right. So make sure that hard work and determination are the key words for you in the next 2 years if you choose to take this path. This is again another question which has started coming a lot, because foundation course during my time was not that you could say prevalent. Foundation course has become prevalent now in the last 10 years, right? So what you start studying for IIT from 8th, 9th and 10th level. And personally, I disagree with this particular system. And I feel there is no need for a student to start preparing for IIT from 8th standard onwards, right? If a person is naturally good at something and he seems intrigued by it and he wants to go to the next level, that is perfectly fine. But not everyone needs to do it at that particular time, right? You don't need a 5-year plan to get into IIT. 2 years are enough. During my time, I started my preparation from 11th standard onwards. Prabjot started his preparation from 11th standard onwards. There was no one around me who had started from 8th standard onwards. All right. So number one, does foundation course affect my chances? I don't think it affects your chances, because if hard work and determination are with you, then no matter whether a person started from 8th standard or not, it does not mean that he can perform better than you. And it really depends on कि कौन किस टाइम पे हार्ड वर्क कर रहा है. तो कोई फाउंडेशन से अगर आया है और वो 11th 12th में आके काम नहीं करता है, तो वो नहीं क्लियर कर पाएगा जेईई, right? So that hard work is the key factor over here that joins everything. All right. So there is no data that we have come across that says that foundation students will always perform better. We have worked with some of the best coaching classes earlier before we started Adventure IIT, and I can tell you very confidently that there is no correlation that I saw between students from foundation and their performance in IIT. So how would you feel when I would tell you that, okay, there were actually close to 80% students from foundation who could not clear IIT. They studied for 5 years but still could not clear IIT, right? So data can be misleading a lot of times, and it's really from the perspective that we look at it that matters. Okay, आपको क्या सोचना है कि क्या मैं मेहनत कर सकता हूं या नहीं कर सकता हूं? That is the key point over here. You work harder than the other guy, you will go ahead. All right. Now we come to next point, which is partially true. All right, I would say, but not as true as hyped as it is made out to be. So JEE mains exam is too difficult and the competition is very high, right? Let's look at this particular slide over here where I'm discussing where I want to discuss this data with you. All right. So there are 12 lakh people who sit for JEE mains each year. All right. Out of these 12 lakh students, 2.5 lakh are selected for JEE mains, are selected from JEE mains for sitting in JEE Advanced. And out of these 2.5 lakh students who are sitting for JEE Advanced, only 12,000 students are selected. All right. So what are these other 9.5 lakh students doing over there who were not selected in JEE mains? All right. I'll give you my perspective to this. अगर आप डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पर क्रिकेट खेल रहे हो, तो क्या आप नेशनल लेवल के लिए कॉम्पिटिटर बन गए क्रिकेट खेलने के लिए? I don't think so. Who is a better competitor to consider who can get to the national level? Somebody who plays at the state level, somebody who plays Ranji cricket. All right. So most of the students who sit for JEE mains are sitting without having particular preparation done, number one. And what do I mean by particular preparation? It means that they've not put in the effort and time that is required to really excel in these exams. All right. That could be for various reasons, but they gave up somewhere in between. All right. Or they're just giving it because, engineering karna hai to de dete exam. And there are many cases like that, right? So let's take these 9.5 lakh students out of this particular calculation कि ये competition नहीं है हमारा. ठीक है. जो बाकी बचे 2.5 lakh students हैं, उसमें से 60% students score in the range of 20 to 40% in JEE mains. So if the exam is of 300 marks, 60% students only score between 80 to 120 marks. All right. Now, in my view, or in our experience, I would say, these students are not very well prepared for advance. All right. The person who is really prepared for advance and who can really do well in JEE advance is the 10% in yellow over here, who get a more than 50% score. All right. These are the guys who are, they are getting a 50% plus score because they have prepared very well. All right. So even if you get 50% in JEE mains, you are through. You are, in fact, you will be in the top 10,000 people in the country if you score 50% over here, right? So these 60% students who scored between 80 and 120, are they also a real competition? I would say no. And I will give you a data point to prove this. Last year from JEE mains, out of 2.5 lakh students, there were approximately 80,000 students who did not sit for JEE advance. And these were mainly students who had scored in the 20 to 40% bracket because they themselves knew that their preparation for advance was not up to mark. All right. So what is the real competition then? Out of 12 lakh, the real competition is only 50,000 students, 30 to, I would say 40 to 50,000 students who are putting that time and effort in the 2 years to do that work. All right. You have to decide whether you can come in that 50,000 or not. All right. So the competition according to us is not really 12 lakhs. It's just an inflated number. It is just, I feel that this is a very hyped number and it only gives you pressure and nothing else. You have to look at ground reality, what is really going on. And on the ground, only 50,000 students approximately are putting in the effort and time to clear JEE advance. All right. Now, then the question comes, why is the cutoff in JEE so low? All right. Before I move on, I would also want to say that I've given a link over here. The data that I showed you and what I explained, we actually wrote an article on this and we posted it. If you want, you can go to this article and have a read it completely. All right. So is the competition really between 12 lakh students? And give me a moment. I'll just drink some water. All right. So why is the cutoff in JEE so low? So you can attribute that the exam is difficult compared to boards, definitely. You can also attribute it to the pattern of the paper where you have negative marking, and because of negative marking, the scores go down. So it's not like a board exams where you get partial marking also, right? So here, if you give an incorrect answer, you get negative marks and your scores will go down. All right. So the cutoff in JEE is low can be attributed to multiple factors. The difficulty is definitely higher than boards. All right. But for mains, it is not as high as it is made out to be. All right. A person who is preparing for boards and has done very good preparation for boards needs to practice papers to get used to the format of JEE mains. But other than that, I don't think the preparation is very different, or the level is very different. Okay. The negative marking does matter. And secondly, you have to solve a given number of questions in a limited number of in a limited amount of time, and that can also play a role in students not performing as well if they are not used to the pattern. And that is why practicing papers becomes really important for these exams. All right. In fact, I don't think it is very different in the way we approach boards. जिन्होंने 10th दिया है तो आप लोगों ने भी you would have practiced papers at home for maths, for science and others. It's the same thing. You have to be able to think on the spot in these exams, and practicing papers helps you do that, right? So in JEE Advance, let me give you a perspective over here. In JEE Advance, if you score even 25 to 30%, you're in the top 20,000 people in the country. Now let's compare this with boards and what kind of expectations the board exams actually sets, right? Boards में आप अगर 90% लेकर आते हो तो आप बहुत अच्छे माने जाते हो, and if you are at 40%, you are not even considered anywhere in the league of other students, right? But in JEE Advance, if you score 40 to 50%, you're in the top 8,000 to 15,000 people in the country. So there is a complete mindset shift that is required. And we've seen that a lot of times when students come into for JEE preparation and they don't score as high as their boards when they were preparing for school exams or boards, parents become anxious, students become anxious कि सर मैं तो पहले इतना स्कोर कर रहा था, अभी क्यों नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. It is the format of the exam that is important. It is the type of exam that you have to consider, and you have to see that JEE is not about solving everything. It is not about getting 100%. In fact, I don't know if anybody till date has got 100% in JEE Advanced. JEE Mains में एक बार हुआ है. One person scored 360 out of 360 2 years back. But other than that, nobody till date has ever scored 100% in JEE Advanced or Mains. All right. So you need to set your expectations at the right level. That, okay, if my son or daughter, or if I am preparing and I am scoring 40% to 50%, then it is not about how do I get to 90%. It is about how do I go from 40% to 45%? How do I go from 45% to 50%? All right. That is the game. The game is not to shoot up to 90% all of a sudden. All right. So the expectations over here become very important when you come into JEE preparation. Now, can I prepare JEE for JEE without a coaching class? And I would say, you know what, you can absolutely prepare for JEE without a coaching class, right? But it requires something very essential. Number one, discipline. Number two, discipline. And number three, discipline. And I will share with you how I had cleared IIT and why I had to take a drop. Right, I couldn't clear it in the first attempt, and I had to take a drop for it. Was because in my 11th and 12th, I was not disciplined. I never took formal coaching from any particular coaching class, and so I did not have any direction on. And not having that direction really hampered my preparation. And it was only in the drop year that I understood this point. All right. So yes, you can prepare, but it will require a lot of discipline from your end to continue doing the preparation. Number one. Secondly, when we teach in our classes, any coaching class, I would say, each coaching class has a particular format or a particular path on which they take the students. So if, let's say, stoichiometry is the first topic in 11th standard chemistry, that is not what I teach over here. I teach atomic structure as the first topic. My second topic is periodic properties. So the pattern that we take in is different because we have understood that this is the best way that the student can learn the subject. All right. So when you're preparing on your own, this kind of guidance will not be available to you. All right. So either you have somebody in your house, let's say your elder brother or sister or somebody you know who has done this, and they can help you, but they need to be there. They need to have had done this in the last 5-6 years. If it's older than that, then it does not, they would not know the nuances of the current preparation level and the time required right now. Okay, so make sure that you're taking your guidance from the right person. Next, a coaching class can provide you with a lot of other things that when you prepare on your own cannot help you with, right? For example, discipline is of course there because the classes happen regularly, the students are on their toes. The tests happen regularly, the students are on their toes, right? When you're doing things on your own, you can become very relaxed about it, right? And I think that a lot of parents would understand that this also happened when the lockdown started, that just because of the lockdown, suddenly we all became very relaxed. At least I did, right? And it took some time for me to find my feet. So when we are on our own, it requires a lot of mental strength and a different attitude and discipline to actually get across. All right. So you can prepare, but it will require a lot of discipline from your end. Now, it is very difficult, and I don't want to put pressure on my child. This is another one that actually has started coming more recently as people have become more aware about mental health issues. All right. And I would say that mental health is definitely a priority. And that is what we also want for our students. But then you have something counter to that where, when we see somebody who's achieved a lot, we tell how that person has sacrificed a lot of things, how that person struggled through a lot of things, how they stretched themselves, how they went beyond their limitations to, achieve that certain level. So this is a very dynamic thing. These are two opposing factors. And what we need here is a balancing act. All right. So how we at Adventure IIT deal with this is we take students for JEE Advanced and we give them a chance to give 100% to what they are doing. All right. When I say it's a balancing act, what it means is that when I ask a student that, did you give your 100%? And he said no, then I would tell him, okay, first give your 100%, then tell me that you can't do this. Then let's talk again and see where you are heading. All right. Till the time you're not giving your 100%, it does not make sense to really think whether you can do it or not do it. All right. And I'm sure most of you would agree with what I'm saying over here. Right? कि आपको अगर किसी चीज में कुछ करना है तो आप वहां पर हम क्या बोलते हैं कि क्या तुमने अपना 100% दिया या नहीं दिया. Right? Now, based on this philosophy, what we have done is that after a few months, when a person starts with us, we divide them into two cope up with, right? So if a student we see that is not able to cope up with the pressure of or the kind of effort and time required for JEE Advanced, we put them in the JEE Mains batch where we tell them that it is not as, or where they experience that it is not as pressurizing. The level is just one notch above boards, and if they even focus on boards very well, they can actually give JEE Mains pretty well. All right. So we divide the batch and we make sure that the students are not over pressurized unnecessarily and they fit according to their strengths and weaknesses. जरूरी नहीं है कि अगर आपने गिव अप कर दिया बीच में, आपने बोला कि नहीं मेरे को JEE एडवांस नहीं करना, मेरे को JEE मेंस करना है, तो आप बुरे हो गए या आप कम हो गए, आप किसी से नीचे हो गए हो. I feel that you can always decide to reevaluate your decisions in life and there is nothing wrong with it. But make sure that you gave your 100% before you take that decision, right? So yes, both the things are important for us and it's a balancing act that we want to make, right? So when should I start? And that's a question that a lot of students would be having right now, that when can, when and where can I start with this particular, with this particular course, or मैं कहाँ JEE की तैयारी शुरू करूँ, कब करूँ, right? And I'll tell you why this question is also there is mainly because of the lockdown, right? And a lot of, and I would say students, especially adults, not as much, but students especially, because of the last 2 months, they have gone into state of limbo where, they've zoned out basically. Ki, okay, when things will settle, we will do something about it, right? But I'll add over here one point, that for us, for our current batches, JEE preparation has not stopped. The classes have continued regularly each and every day. And around 2 weeks back, actually around, I would say, yeah, around 2 weeks back, I was having a word with my students and I was asking them that what is their experience of the lockdown. And the reason why I was asking them was because this is something unprecedented. Nobody has experienced this. All right. We all have more questions rather than answers about it, and kids have more questions than answers. They cannot go out to spend time with their friends. They don't understand why the lockdown is getting extended again and again, right? And so they can't make head or tail about it. And I asked them what is going on in their head, and a lot of students were frustrated with what was going on, right? They were like, sir, I'm not able to focus. Some of them said, sir, mera sleeping time बढ़ गया. I sleep more than I normally sleep during regular days, right? And I told them one thing, that, you know what, for me also, it took around 2 to 3 weeks to actually find my feet and get things on track once this whole lockdown started, right? And I went through that frustration. And at times even I feel that, you know what, why can't I go out, right? I can't even take a walk in my own society right now. So these are things that actually mentally affect us, right? So I told them one thing that I realized that helped me take a step when I was in that zone where things were not, where, I was thinking about कि काम कब आगे बढ़ेगा, right? And what I told them was, and what I also experienced was that जब भी कोई when somebody does something big, or let's say even something like bungee jumping, right? कोई बंजी जंपिंग के लिए जाता है तो क्या उनका डर खत्म हो जाता है वहां पर, when they are going to go for that bungee jumping, when they are being strapped by the person in their seats? डर खत्म नहीं होता है, लेकिन तब भी हम बंजी जंपिंग करते हैं. डर खत्म नहीं होता है, लेकिन तब भी हम अपना काम करते हैं. वैसे ही अभी के लिए मेरा what I learned was, and I'm sharing with you all over here, is that frustration है, कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन काम करना पड़ेगा. फ्रस्ट्रेशन है ना, फ्रस्ट्रेशन को एक्सपीरियंस करो, लेकिन काम करते रहो साथ में, क्योंकि अगले साल जेई अपने टाइम पर होगा, इस साल की तरह डिले नहीं होगा. All right, things are going to, the exams are going to be held next year also, and they will be held at the usual times next year, more or less, right? So you can't say that, okay, you know what, let things settle down and then I will prepare for IIT. All right, then I will prepare for JEE Mains, or then I will prepare for MHCET. It will not work like that. You would have lost the time. You would have lost, the train would have left from the station, right? So when should you start? Number one, the syllabus for 11th and 12th is a lot. It is very vast compared to what you have experienced in 9th and 10th or any other class earlier. So it takes time for completing the syllabus. And add to that, you have to reach a certain proficiency level in the application part, which again will take a lot of time and practice. And, you know, we just happen to cover the entire syllabus on time in September or October every year, right? So if you start later than this, you will have to put in more time, you'll have to put in more hours, more effort to actually keep pace with whatever is going on, keep pace with students who have already started. All right. And I would say if you start anything beyond from now, right, because most of the batches start in May and June. If you start anything beyond from now, it will take a lot of effort and time, and it will put you in under a lot of pressure to cope up with the vastness of the syllabus and the difficulty level of what you have to achieve. All right. So when is the time to start? The time to start is now, right? If it was 2 months back, I would say, no, you can still take time and you can evaluate things and then start. But right now we are in a phase where the regular batches at a lot of places have already started, or they're about to start in the next 2 weeks. All right. So what are the main challenges in JEE preparation, right? What we see, or what can be the points that we can tell the students beforehand so that they can avoid them, right? The first, before I move on to those points, I would say that understand that JEE is about two things. It is not only about physics, chemistry and maths. बहुत लोगों को लगता है कि अच्छा मैं physics, chemistry, maths पढ़ लूंगा तो हो जाएगा, but वो नहीं है, right? Physics, chemistry, maths is just the skill set. When you want to come in the top 1% of the country, you need to have the right mindset as well. You ask any cricketer at the national level or any person who plays sports at national level, when they're going through a downtime, all right, it is not their skill set that is actually a problem. It is their mindset. All right. And these people work on their mindset more after a certain point than their skill set. Right. And these are self-feeding things कि आप अगर कुछ अच्छा करते हो तो आपका mindset positive हो जाता है, आप उसको और improve करने की कोशिश करते हो, और क्योंकि आप improve करने के लिए मेहनत करते हो तो आपका skill set improve हो जाता है. So again, it's a self-feeding thing, just like practice and interest, right? But both are important. And I like to say that JEE is 50% physics, chemistry, maths, 50% your mental strength. All right. You need to be able to work on both. All right. You can be the smartest guy in the room, but if you can't handle the exam day pressure, no point. You will not clear the exam, or you will get a really bad rank. All right. So both the things go hand in hand. Now, how can we start? The first thing over here, stay focused and happy. And this is something, we always tell our parents and students that we want you to take this decision of preparing for JEE on your own and do it happily. We don't want you to do it because you have seen some friend or your parents are pressurizing you to do it, right? We want you to cross these 2 years, enjoying these 2 years and not thinking that, oh shit, what decision I took, now I can't even go back. All right. So stay focused and happy. What do I mean by focused additionally over here is that your life will be different from other friends of yours who are not preparing for JEE, who are only focused on boards, because they will be able to complete their work more easily than you by spending less time. They will be going out, they'll be going out for movies more than you. They'll be going out more for, hanging out amongst friends more than you. You will not get to do those things as much. Does that mean that you have to not do those things at all? Absolutely not. We don't believe in this philosophy that you have to study 14 hours a day for JEE. All right. And you have to leave everything for it. You have to set a certain balance about what you need to do. And we call it, and the key term over here is prioritizing, right? Prioritizing what you need to do when. If you have work to do, then you don't go for the movie. If you have work to do, then you don't go for hanging out with your friends. If you've completed your work, go and play with your friends, whatever you want to play, right? So it's a very balancing thing that you have to do. And stay focused really means prioritizing, right? What you have to do when. The next is, don't make constant negative comparisons with others in the class. मेरे मार्क्स कम आए, उसके मार्क्स ज्यादा है, वो मेरे से बेटर है, उसका आईआईटी में हो जाएगा, मेरा नहीं होगा, राइट? उसने क्लास में इस सर का ये क्वेश्चन आंसर कर दिया, मैं नहीं कर पाया, तो मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं कर सकता. You know, we get into these negative self thoughts. But the real key over here, and we get into these negative self thoughts, and the real key over here is to not से कि ये जो थॉट्स होते हैं ना, ये एक रिवर की तरह होते हैं जो कि आपको बहकर ले जाएंगे. आपको वहां तक उस रिवर में जाना ही नहीं है, right? You have to avoid getting into that river, otherwise you will go along with that flow. And what will happen is that most of your time will go into thinking these negative thoughts rather than actually doing the work. And then it again becomes a self-perpetuating cycle, right? कि आपने काम नहीं किया क्योंकि आप सोच रहे थे दूसरों के बारे में, आपके मार्क्स नहीं आए, तो आपको लगता है कि आप नहीं कर पाओगे, right? So don't do these comparisons with others. And I can tell you that, everybody does this. Even I have done it. And and this is where your mental strength, and this is where the kind of person you have as a guide really helps. All right. And I'm sharing this on a very light note, that I have a twin brother who was more intelligent than me. This is like a fact. This is not a made up story. This is a fact. I have a twin brother who was more intelligent than me, who is actually more intelligent than me, right? And so there were constant comparisons that I would make with him, कि वो मेरे से ज्यादा नंबर लेकर आता है, वो क्लास में अच्छा कर लेता है मेरे से. And it was a task for me to actually come out of that zone and say, you know what, I need to focus on myself. I don't need to look at what the other person is doing. Can I talk to my teacher and understand where I need to improve? All right. And that is the kind of student we love, who can come to us and say, sir, I'm stuck over here. Can you help me with this? It could be an academic issue. It could be a non-academic issue. We are ready to help you with it, because it requires, like I said, not just skill set, not just academic stuff. It requires non-academic stuff, mindset also to get through. All right. And we would tell you that beware. 10th के बाद आपको ब्रेक मिलता है, बहुत अच्छा ब्रेक मिलता है, and you get into a zone where you are very relaxed with things and you're like कि ठीक है, हम देख लेंगे, अभी मेरा मन नहीं कर रहा है इतना पढ़ाई करने का, मैंने क्लास तो ज्वाइन कर लिया है, बट मैं आराम से करूंगा इसको. And you know what, 4 months down the line, if this honeymoon period of yours from 10th spills over into 11th, 4 months down the line, right, you would have created so much of backlog that you will start feeling pressured whether you can do this or not. All right. So we want to tell you that you need to start focusing on your work for JEE from day one itself. You need to start putting in efforts from day one itself. You cannot say that, okay, you know what, आराम से करूंगा. And this happens a lot with students who come from ICSE background, because some of the topics that we teach initially, they are comfortable with it. They are taught in 10th standard itself, some part of it, right? So they become, they become relaxed that, okay, I know this, I don't need to do it. I don't need to do it so much right now. And that is where the pitfall comes, right? So don't let this relaxed period and relaxed mode spill over into 11th. You start now seriously. All right. Make sure that your attitude right from the beginning is correct. 3 main ingredients to add to your preparation. All right. Number 1, hard work. This is something that I think I've stressed enough in this particular webinar, in this talk, where I've told you that there is no substitute to it. आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. आपका हाई IQ है या आपका हाई IQ नहीं है, आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. Without hard work, you cannot go ahead, right? You need to focus and stay happy. And again, this is one of our basic philosophies at Adventure IIT. We want our students to be happy. We don't want them to feel, that they took the wrong decision. All right. If they feel that JEE Advanced is not for them, we give them an option to go back to JEE Mains so that they can focus more where they can use their strengths better in JEE Mains rather than JEE Advanced. And we want to give them a chance to do that. Communicate, right? And this is really essential. And I would say this is one of the most underrated points in any, you could say, coaching. And I would not just say JEE coaching, I would say any type of coaching. This is one of the most underrated points. Communication with your teachers is a very crucial aspect to get through these 2 years. Because there will be academic issues, there will be non-academic issues. Like I said, there's both skill set and mindset, and your teachers need to be aware about it, about both the aspects, to help you and guide you in the best way possible. But if you don't communicate, right, they will not know where you are stuck. We will not know how to guide you. We may just end up giving you saying some generic thing to you, and it would not be applicable to you. All right. So that constant communication about what is happening and what is going on, what you're doing and what you're not doing has to be there. All right. This is I would say one of the key pillars for the next 2 years. Now, so these 3 things is basically results. And how does the current situation affect JEE preparation? Right. So this is the last part of the webinar right now. I'll take another 2-3 minutes more to wrap this up, and then we can move on to the question answer session. How does the current situation affect JEE preparation? Like I told you, for us, the JEE preparation has not stopped. Our current batches have classes going on continuously. There was lockdown or no lockdown. Why? Because we understand that JEE is still going to happen next year, and next year probably this will not be the situation. All right. So we will continue. The classes will continue despite there is a lockdown or no lockdown. Currently, the classes are online, right? For most of the institutes. In fact, for every institute, the classes are online. We also take the classes online for now. We will move to offline mode, back to the center where we take classes once things become better, right? So how does the current situation affect? It does not affect. It can affect your mindset. But like I said, as of now, the mindset required, and that is where the whole idea of mental strength comes in. If you want to ace an exam like JEE Advanced, that you need to be able to work along with the fear. You need to be able to work along with the frustration. All right. So I think this is where we will end. And I just want to add one more thing over here. Lastly, that we have the comprehensive analysis program. This was the phase 1 where we help and clear doubts and questions and whatever thoughts you may have in your head, in your mind, right? In the next phases, what we help students is to actually get a live experience of what it is going to be like in the next 2 years. All right. If you want to know more, you can go onto our website. The link that was sent to you in the email explains these phases more. All right. In a very short way, I will help you understand that in phase 2, we actually conduct a class taking a JEE topic and teach them from the perspective of JEE, so that the students can see what is the level of application, what is the level of proficiency that they need to actually achieve in a particular topic to go ahead, right? Then in phase 3, we give them a homework sheet, right, which they have to complete. And we've designed it in such a way that it will take at least 10 to 12 hours to complete that sheet. All right. So the students get to understand that, you know what, this is going to take time and effort from our side. And it is not going to be like 10 standard where I solve 5 questions, so I can solve the remaining 10 questions. All right. Phase 4 is where we basically give the students a test which has been designed on the pattern of JEE, so that they understand the exam environment, and they also understand what the kind of mindset that is required and the attitude that is required to give this exam, right? And lastly, actually, there's a phase 5 where we give you a proper feedback, analyze the performance of the student, and give you a feedback about what the student needs to do, what he's good at right now, and what are the gaps and how those can be filled going forward if the student chooses to pursue this path. All right. And finally, if you want, you can connect with us on these, numbers, or you can email to us. if you have any query or any other thing in your mind, you want to know more about our process. And I would want to, thank each one of you for being a part of this. This was really special and important for me. And I also want to thank Miss Reshma Sheikh, who's the principal of Lexicon Wagholi, Lexicon International School Wagholi, who gave us this platform to communicate with you guys so that we could do justice to what we really believe in, and that is giving you the right guidance. All right. So thank you very much, each one of you, for being a part. I will leave the place open for, leave the platform open for questions. And if you have any questions, I hope you've sent them to Prabjot. Prabjot, can you tell me if there are any questions from parents?
Yeah, thank you, Rupinder.
Yeah.
So we have got some questions from the parent. I think you can take a glass of water before that. We have
Okay.
spoken a lot.
All right.
That's fine. Yeah. So yeah. So first question came from Sakshi ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Is it too late to join a coaching class now?
All right. So, Sakshi, I would want to add that, like I said in the course of the presentation, that it is not too late right now. Usually the batches start from the first or second week of June onwards. So if there are batches starting right now, so till that time, I would say there is no problem. You're in the safe zone. If you spill over to anything beyond August, then that becomes a problem. All right. Anything in June is fine. Also, I would like to add one point here, that a lot of people feel that, JEE Advanced is too difficult. I will let my child prepare for JEE Mains right now, and then I will see later on if he or she can prepare for Advanced, right? I would say that this is fundamentally a very wrong approach, because you're not letting the student experience the difficulty level. And if you're not exposing them to the difficulty level, they will not feel comfortable when you expose it to them later on. All right. Reason being that 11th is the base for 12th. So if you wait till 12th for a student to start preparation for JEE Advanced, it is already too late. And the conceptual level that is required is not built just from JEE Mains for JEE Advanced. It requires more practice and more difficult level of questions for you to be able to do, right? So if you want to start for JEE Advanced, start now. डोंट लीव इट फॉर लेटर. जैसे कि मैंने सीखा हुआ है कि अगर आपको कुछ काम करना है तो सबसे मुश्किल काम पहले करो, क्योंकि आसान काम पहले ले लोगे तो हो सकता है उसमें ज्यादा टाइम लग जाए और मुश्किल काम के लिए टाइम नहीं बचेगा फिर, राइट? तो जो मुश्किल चीज है उसको पहले एक्सपीरियंस कर लो, अगर नहीं होगा तो उसको छोड़ देना, फिर JEE मेंस की तैयारी, क्योंकि JEE एडवांस के साथ JEE मेंस की तैयारी तो होती ही जा रही है, राइट? सो आई होप दैट आंसर्स द क्वेश्चन.
Next question has came from Aditi.
Yes.
Do you have separate batch for ISR preparation?
So there are no separate batches for ISR preparation, and you will not find them anywhere. Reason being that like I said, content and the pattern of exam is similar to JEE Mains. So if you're preparing for JEE Mains, your ISR preparation gets automatically done. Yeah.
Okay. So next question is for Ashwin. I think we can add here for the board also. So Ashwin is asking, is it advisable to go for a dummy school? So I think you can cover board here.
Okay. So yeah. So this is a question that we get almost from every parent actually, that which board should I take? Should I go for a dummy school? Should I go for integrated program? Should I go to a CBSE school? I will say that there are pros and cons to both the sides. And what are those pros and cons? If you go to a dummy school, right? A dummy school, basically you join a state board school where you don't have to you don't go to attend the school, and your attendance is automatically marked, right? So that's a dummy school. Now what happens over there is you get a lot of time to prepare, and that is the positive side to it. And a lot of people will tell you that if you join a dummy school, you will have the entire day to prepare for JEE. But let's look at the other side, which a lot of people fail to see, or or nobody tells them about, I would say. Your child or you personally were in a system till 10th standard where the discipline was being set in your life by your parents and school. So you had to wake up at 5 or 6 in the morning, go to school, come back in the afternoon, then go sleep or study or play with your friends, and then you would sleep, and the whole thing would repeat every day, you had basically a disciplined life, a certain level of discipline because of your parents and school. Now, suddenly, if you are put or you put your child into a zone where the time is for themselves to decide what they want to do and how they want to work it out, what do you think will happen? Do you think that discipline comes from day one? I don't think so, because I have experienced it personally in my life. I left my first job to start an institute. I was in Mumbai at that time. And I can tell you that for the first 2 months, I did not feel like working because everything was on me now. And I think this is not just me. I have understood that a lot of entrepreneurs go through this particular phase. And so when you put a child who is not really, I would say, adept at defining things for themselves or disciplining themselves, if you put them in a place where they have all the time for themselves, the discipline is very hard to come by. So if you're very internally motivated, अगर आपके अंदर बहुत इंटरनल मोटिवेशन है कि नहीं मेरे को तो एक करना ही है और मुझे पता है मैं कर लूंगा, then please go for a dummy school. All right, but more or less I would not advise that, right? Because again, from my experience earlier where I have taught, I have seen that a lot of people take up dummy school thinking that they have more time on their hands, but they actually don't end up utilizing that. All right, on the other hand, we have CBSE or ICSE schools. CBSE schools or ICSE, both, they have a defined pattern. You have to go to school, you have to attend classes. So your time for self-study actually can decrease over there compared to the other guy who is disciplined in state board or in a dummy school. All right. But the advantage here is, number one, you have a social life, which you would not otherwise have. And we are very big proponents of social life, that you should, because both me and Prabjot, we have passed out from CBSE schools. So we feel that it does not matter whether you go to a CBSE school or state board school, right? आप CBSE में रहकर भी IIT clear कर सकते हो, right? It is just a,
and it is also good for mindset, Rupinder, to go to
correct,
a regular school.
So the other thing that I would add over here is that when you go to a CBSE school, you get to cover the syllabus twice, once in school and once at the coaching class. And so once you're exposed to something twice, you automatically become better at it, right? And like Prabjot was adding over here, your mindset is to utilize your time as efficiently as you can, because your time is more limited compared to the other guy. All right. So we personally, you could say, are proponents of CBSE and CBSE schools where people can have a social life and they have a set pattern, and they have a proper defined way in which they have to work. All right. So we personally recommend these schools. Right, Prabjot? So I hope that answers the question for the person who had asked.
Yeah, I think so. I think, Rupinder, those were the questions which we had.
Okay.
No other question, but I think if parents have other question, we can connect to them personally.
Yeah. So what I would like to end over here is that if you felt that this seminar was really useful for you, you can leave us a feedback on the email ID that you have. It will really help us in understanding, what we could do more to help you guys from here onwards. If you have any questions, you can email them to us or connect with us on our, you can call us up. But we will really appreciate, if you can let us know how you felt about the seminar, whether it really added value to you or not, whether it really cleared your doubts or questions or not in the right way, whether you still, it really helped you become more clear in your vision from here onwards, right? We would really like that feedback. And if you want us to conduct more seminars like this, please do let us know. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we would, as the part of Adventure AI team, I would like to thank Reshma ma'am, Lexicon International School, Wagoli, and also Sunita ma'am from same school. He's a guiding force for us. She's a guiding force for us. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So, thank you very much, everyone. We would like to connect with you offline from here onwards. Thank you very much.